Greetings, everybody. My name is Braxton Dutson. I am a certified sex therapist, and if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering, how do I get organized or explore more of the process of becoming a certified sex therapist? So I want, and maybe you've reached out to me and you're interested in me being your primary supervisor or a secondary supervisor. Either way, maybe you're just dabbling in it and you're not sure if you want to start this big process because it seems so big. I want to break this down so that it feels much more manageable and that you can take this certification process through AASECT piece by piece with confidence and with the end in mind. So I'm going to show with you a spreadsheet that I make all of my supervisees fill out to help them get ready for the final product. I'm also going to show you the application process, the online application process, and I will show you some tidbits of what a supervisee that I have helped go through the process and submit her application, the organization that I expect my supervisees to provide, which makes the application process for you as you're uploading, for me as I'm reviewing, and for the AASECT review committee to be all in order, to make it so easy, so readable, and that there's no questions about where your hours are and if you've completed all the hours that are required. So let's get into it really quick. We're going to go over the spreadsheet first, and you'll kind of see how they go through. I want to make this quick. I have a longer video that's over 30 minutes that gets really in depth with the application process. So if you want to know more about that, we can look into that process. I do have that 30-minute video that will walk you through the majority of it, reiterating just how important it is to and how to organize. But this is just going to be a quick overview. So let me start sharing my screen. Okay, so first you've got the this will get updated as time goes on, as things change. But essentially, you've got the welcome, understanding. Read through this because each section is based off of what is currently in the sections or what is currently in the requirements. This can be really helpful as you start reading and managing this. Table of contents is a little dated now because we actually don't need to create a cover letter. We don't need to organize these all in paper sheets and PDFs. You do need to have many of them, but some of these we don't have to organize it the same way. Like a table of contents does not need to be created, so don't worry about that. But you do need the rest of these things, and or the majority of the rest of them. Let's jump over to the really important one, organization right now. Easiest, quickest way to be able to go through this, get into a program or college that works with AASECT, that gives you the hours and the proof that you've done your work with your CKAs or Section V and your sex therapy training or Section 6 VI. For example, within this, you need 90 hours of the core knowledge, your CKAs in Section 5. 90 hours, and in each one of these in the organization file I've got, it tells you methods of being able to help you save money and time, but then also the 75 hours can be e-learning, but you need 15 of those hours as synchronous. Be sure to follow those requirements that are on the website, aasect.org. But a big part is being able to write in here what you did, the title of the workshop or class, the organization that was offering it. You need to know these things from AASECT to if you were part of CIIS or went through their program, the Bueller Institute, the Modern Sex Therapy, any college courses, things like that. Get them, get the title of the class or the workshop, the organization that's offering that workshop, put it in detail, the dates you were there, the hours that you're planning, if they're AASECT or if they are a part of an organization institute, then those count hour for hour. If they are not, if they're just a sexual thing that was related, but they weren't organized by AASECT or weren't a part of a curriculum at a college, then those count for half credit. And then we want to start figuring out where we're going to place those. So in this situation, this would be something like section, in fact, I'll show you right here. Great example is on this application, is that through all of these, just like I showed you here, right? Fancy meeting you here, an ethical framework for multiple relationships. This was done by Dr. Sheila Addison at the AASECT conference in 2023 for 2 AASECT credit hours in June of 2023, and it was synchronous. That's the information you need. We're going to be filling those out. The part in this that's easy to find then is we go, okay, F, ethical decision making. It's the AASECT conference. So we're actually going to go to the AASECT conference credits here with the PDF. Oh, it's actually going to make me download it, but I won't show you that. Anyways, that helps us find the AASECT conference credits. This person also went to NWIOI with Tina Shermer Sellers, and a part of that on day 5 was sexology, got 3 hours for ethical decision making. The thing that's really important for the organization is writing down and saving them. When you get your CEs, save them and save them accordingly in this way. This is going to help you hands down find everything. Keep a folder, put all your things in one folder, organize it this way so you know where they're going. Section 5, CKA. So now we know it's in Section 5. It's for CKAs. And then you can say Section L. So if we go to this, Section 5, CKA, Section L, under the influence of substance abuse and sexuality, we know that we're going to find in Section 5, Section L. So over here where we've got HIJKL, substance abuse and sexuality. Somewhere in here, oh, there we go, through IC, Rosalind DeChavos, sex under the influence of substance use and sexuality. Look at that, 3 AASECT CEs on January of 2023, and that was asynchronous. So easy to find. I'm telling you, this is super important to be able to have, because your application is also going to ask you in these ways. When you're going through, you are going to put it in just like the application did, where we've got the course title, right? The institution that was putting it on, the hours, the month, and it was synchronous or asynchronous. So that course title is going to be really important. Also the institution. And then you down here at the bottom, upload all the CE that you got there. And you're going to want those to be as organized as this person had it, so that you can identify, look at that, Section VI, STT, that's the sex therapy training. Section B, beyond sex addiction. Boom. We know where it's at. It's in Section A, or sorry, it's in Section B in the sex therapy training. So as we look at that, this is the sex therapy training. There in Section B, we know it's techniques of sex-related assessment diagnosis. So know your hours, know your dates. Put it in the organization there and know what section you're putting it in. Super easy towards the end, because then you can place it in there. It's easy for you to see that which sections you're in, where your CEs are at. Then save all your syllabi and mark it up. Mark it where you're sending each one of those classes. The more that you can send your classes and point people in that direction, like the NWIOI that person was talking about, being able to have the NWIOI section that she was talking about. I'll just show you the CE list here. She had the entire syllabi, the dates when it was put together, and then down here towards the end, look at that. The human sexuality chronologist, this is what those organizations will give you, whether it's all the hours or this one gave 46. But in this one, there's the core knowledge hours, Section 5. Day 5, it gave 3 in ethics and behavior. And that's all you got to do is put that in there. Super easy when you can mark it up like this and organize it, color code it. The blue ones are sex therapy training. You got 2 hours here and 3 hours there. It all comes back to being able to place it in here as the NWI by Tina Shermer Sellers, and who is presenting that day, how many hours, and you just get to point it into that. Super easy. This is going to help you so much as you go through your core education and your sex therapy. And these are the big uploads at the very end that seem so daunting. You have a SAR, you have 14 hours, you've got to write a 1-page comprehensive statement about how it affected it, good, bad, neutral. What did it do to change your outlook and your philosophy? Then you got your clinical practice. You need 300 hours minimum. These do not count. Supervision does not count till you have an agreement. These hours do not count till you have an agreement, and you are also a member of AASECT. Be sure to know that, because I've had supervisees who weren't able to count some hours because they didn't have one of those 3 in line. Keep track of those, because they will ask you how many issues you've run into, like what issues in the DSM, and how many couples, adult males, adult females, children, families, and gender diverse cases you've worked with. Then supervision, keep track of group and individual. With your primary supervisor, you need to indicate who's your primary. They oversee all of this, and they will overview your application before it gets submitted. You need at least 20 hours of supervision with them. You can get other individual hours with other people for specialization. I highly recommend that. And then you can only have a maximum of 25 group supervision hours. That's really important to have. Don't start the group before you do or have a primary supervisor at least okaying it. You can do group supervision, but make sure you've got that primary supervisor that's overseeing this first, that you have that agreement before you start your group supervision. Then you've got here at the end your application tracking. Some of this, again, is dated because the form filled out inside, that's going to be just on the online process. But a lot of these are the things you need to start getting together and uploading. So this I find really helpful. There's going to be a couple new things coming to this application process. But know that as you go through this application, you've got your non-AASECT CEs that count for half. You've got your CEs that count for full. The other things that count for full are being in those organizations that are AASECT approved or a university. But just make sure you get all your syllabi, write things down, and then save them in the section that you're planning on organizing them. For the STTs, talk with your supervisor about what counts, because those are all about doing the work as a sex therapist, and that needs to be an interaction between you and the therapist or the presenter saying these count for STTs. Then you upload, and a lot of this, just if you've organized it, you can see you're just uploading your resume, CV, keep it in a file. Your professional license, keep it in a file. Then you're just uploading things. Super easy process. But if you have to go looking for these, then you're going to feel overwhelmed, distressed. So follow the application tracker. It's got all the things that you need. As you get towards that and you get your letters and the other, and you're ready to start doing that, or if you're like, hey, I want to know a little bit more about it, I've got that 30-minute video. I'm going to stop this one now because we've seen an overview. I hope this helps put things together and help you feel a little bit more organized. And as you're reading through the requirements, or as you go through the application tracker, I'm excited for you in this beginning of your journey. We'll talk to you soon.